it's marginally more scary than me right now with like full-on brows and 0 eyelashes. The inspiration for today's makeup look, which is scary stories to tell in the dark. Woo! I don't know what that was. I f***ing love scary stories to tell in the dark. It is like a slice of heaven to me. One of my favorite stories in here is called Cold as Clay. It's basically about this girl that falls in love with this farmhand, and the dad sends the girl away so she can't be with the guy, but then the guy shows up one day and she rides off on a horse with him and she's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? You're cold as clay. And then she goes and sees her dad and she's like, oh hey, I saw homeboy, and he's like, he's been dead forever. And they go dig him up for some reason, and there he is, dead, but with the kerchief that she had put on his head. Ah! So today's eye is going to be inspired by Cold as Clay, but I'm gonna make it like prettier, you know? I don't want to look like a dead person. The whole look that I'm gonna go for here are gonna be like greens and browns and grays, so like clay and like mossy, dirty, that kind of thing. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this green from this Makeup Forever Technicolor palette. It's like a very vivid green. I'm gonna put this where you would normally do like your blending color, but because it's such a bright green, I don't want it to get all muddied up with the other colors. So I wanna put this on first, so when we do blend later, it's not going to lose its greeniness. I'm gonna take it all the way into like that inner corner of my eyebrow, and then pretty far up, like almost to my eyebrow. Leave just a little smidge of space there. And then start kind of rounding it down to that lower lash line. And then on that bottom lash line, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm just going to, because the green is gonna be like the periphery of the eye. So I'm gonna go in with that same bright ass green and start working on that lower lash line. Okay, it's gonna look weird as hell right now, but don't worry, we're gonna build on it so you won't look crazy. So next I'm actually gonna do some liner, because this is not gonna be a very liner-centric look. It's not gonna be like, hey, look at that eyeliner. I'm gonna line my waterline, and then I'm just gonna do like some brown around the edge, because we're gonna smudge it up in a second. Okay, so just black on the waterline. And then brown a little bit on the lower lash line. I'm not gonna go all the way in with it. And then extend a little bit past that lower lash line. And then on top, I'm gonna kind of make like a little wedge shape, and this doesn't have to be very precise because like I said, we're gonna smudge it up. So just a little bit thicker, like towards the end of the eye. Okay, so the liner kind of looks like right now, but it doesn't matter, I promise. So now we're gonna start adding some darker tones to the eye. So I'm gonna take this kind of swampy grayish brown right here. I'm gonna put it in the crease and like build it up in the corner a little bit, and then start smudging that liner as well. Really darken up that outer corner the most. Go about halfway in or a little less, and then really get in that crease, and then start smudging that bottom liner too. Now also at this point, I'm gonna smudge that top liner. You can use either like a little tiny brush, or you can even use one of these kind of little pointless spongy things. Well, you think are pointless, but I actually like to use this for a few things. So that's what I'm gonna use this. And I'm gonna use that same gray color. Now I'm gonna use this really old Kat Von D palette, which is called Ludwig. There's a couple of great greens in here that I really like. So I'm gonna use that darker kind of olivey green and do the lid, the part that we didn't do with the gray. Now the final eyeshadow step, I'm gonna use the lighter green from that palette to highlight just the inner corners, and I'm gonna use the little spongy guy again. The spongy thing works really well for this. Now the final step is some much needed mascara. Now we just have to put on our kerchief, and that's it. We are Cold as Clay inspired, but not like an actual dead person. as coming from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. What's next? I don't know. Babysitter's Club inspired, Sweet Valley High, Goosebumps. You never know. See you later. I don't look that bad for a dead person.